Chapter 219. Have a perfect boyfriend. Ryu pointed at director Zhu, who was still wailing like a ghost, and said in a low voice, "Look at the Mediterranean Sea. He's taking advantage of the girls singing together from time to time. That girl is also very powerful. She dodged all the things that she could, and took the brunt of those that she couldn't. If it were me, I would definitely kick him and ruin the rest of his life." Jia Yishan laughed in her heart. Hey Ryu smiled. I was just thinking about it. However, what was even more infuriating was the fact that he was looking at the pot while eating. His gaze had turned over no less than 5 times. He was looking at her with a lecherous look in his eyes. One look and one could tell that he was not a good person. Perhaps he had eaten too much for dinner and was so disgusted that he really wanted to put a gunny sack over his head and kick him a few times. Jia Yishan comforted her. If there's a chance to kick him in a gunny sack, let's go together. Good. The two of them reached an agreement. Jia Yishan knew that CEO Zhu harbored ill intentions. Yi Yi had already been beaten out, so it was up to CEO Zhu whether he knew what was good for him or not. Ryu continued, actually, there's another person who's also looking in our direction. I've observed that his eyes are also aimed at you. Who is it? Jia Yishan was afraid that Ryu would say the words best actor Su. She didn't know how to fool him. Lying was really a difficult thing. She had to lie a lot to cover up her lie. Our emperor, the male protagonist, Zhao Qimingcheng. I wonder if he's practicing acting. I've studied the script and the emperor himself is still interested in you, Empress. It's just that I brainwashed him and seduced his soul, which is why he fell out with you. Perhaps Qimingcheng is preparing to have feelings for you so that he can film. I really don't know. Jia Yishan had a bad premonition. She forced herself to be calm and said, "Maybe you're thinking too much." Ryu nodded, agreeing with Jia Yishan's words. However, she continued, "You're right, but we can't rule out the possibility that he has feelings for you. Coincidentally, you're in the same company, and you see each other often. If something really happens, it'll be quite awkward. Imagine if you have to avoid him even when you go to the company. Ha 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 ha." Jia Yishan covered Ryu's mouth and forced her to stop. Woo woo. Say it again. Let's not talk about it anymore. 1. Jia Yishan let go of Ryu. Although Ryu didn't say ha ha ha, her eyes revealed a malicious smile. Jia Yishan shrugged her shoulders and felt that it was nothing. She already had a top-notch boyfriend. No one else would be interested in her. Moreover, her best boyfriend was sitting not far away from her, and his eyes would drift to him from time to time. Ryu could tell that Mr. Xu was looking at her, and Qimingcheng was looking at her. Then, even she could tell that filmer Empress Xu was looking at her. As expected, Ryu, who had just woken up after eating some fruit, hooked her arm around Jia Yishan's shoulder. Actually, I don't believe it myself. I realized that the person who looked at you the most wasn't the fat pig from the Mediterranean Sea, nor was it Qimingcheng from the same sect. Beauty was sitting with the famous best actor Su. I thought that I might have drunk too much the night and my eyesight wasn't very good. But when I thought about it, I could tell that the other two were looking at you. One couldn't possibly have mistaken it just because my eyesight was bad. When it was time to look at best actor Su, look at him sitting there. He's like a statue that doesn't allow strangers to enter. He doesn't look like he's here to sing and have fun. He's here to guard you from being bullied.